Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar today on best practices to improve your social media presence, email marketing, and content creation strategy. We're excited to have you all here today. I'm your host, Mary Ellen. I thought it'd be fun to share a few fun facts about me. So I'm a proud island girl. I am from Grenada, which is a very tiny island in the West Indies. I'm also a brand new dog mom. That's my handsome boy, Potcake Rescue Mace there. Yeah, I am obsessed with 90 Day Fiancé. I think every Sunday my husband and I are avid watchers of that show. But the reason why we're here today is because I'm the marketing coordinator here at Paste for 2 years. I run their social media, our email marketing, our content creation. I also run our in-house social committee and so much more. But before we jump right into things, I have my president, Michael Segru, here with me, who's going to just briefly talk about PACE and what we do for a few seconds. So hi, Mike. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Mary Ellen. How you doing?
I'm great. Happy to have you with me.
That's great. So yeah, I think lots of people on the call today already know who we are, but if you don't know PACE, just a couple of quick things. You know, we've been in business a little over 20 years. Our core services are proactive managed IT support, as well as managed IT security, managed cloud services. You know, we've been an ISO 9001 company for many years, and for the last 6 years we've been a great place to work in Canada. Very proud about that fact. We have a commitment to be a teaching organization on lots of different things, mainly IT, but also some business related topics. So we do a lot of these free webinars for people. Here's a whole bunch of them that we've done now over the last year or so. All of these are accessible, by the way, on our website. If you just go to pacetechnical.com, under the media dropdown, you can get access to all of these. So lots of things on like Microsoft Teams, moving to the cloud. There's lots of cybersecurity training videos in there as well. So if you're a client of PACE, also you can get access through our custom portal. So with all PACE support clients, we have this custom portal that we provide. It's got both information for their users as well as administrators. So if you are on the portal, if you go to knowledge base, you'll see all of the previous webinars that we've done that you can access there. There's also some additional training. If you're a client, you probably already know about this, but we have a university section in there that provides free, starts out with cybersecurity and basic Microsoft platform training, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. So again, if you're a client, you can also go there for some additional training. And if you are not a PACE client and you've never been exposed to our portal, as I mentioned, it's, there's a lot of resources and training resources for your users, but also just for our clients, a lot of information that we provide for you in regards to like full audits of your computers, where we manage your security, compliance, where we do our planning and strategy, etc. So if you'd like to see a demo of it, takes 10-15 minutes. I can run through that with somebody if you're interested. We'll have contact information at the end if you wanted to get in touch with us and hear a bit more.
Yeah, so all that sounds great. Thank you, Mike. So we're just going to jump right into the next slide. I think we have one more. Yeah.
I've already kind of explained all this stuff already, so you can move on.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump into our agenda today, but I'm just going to put my video off just so it's not in the way of our recording. Okay, so this webinar will be recorded today. I know a lot of people do ask if the recording will be available after, so the answer is yes. And of course, it's intended just to give you guys an introduction to social media, email marketing, and content creation. So it's not a master class today. My goal here is just to share, what we've learned from our own marketing initiatives here at PACE, since we are a teaching organization. And of course, it's our mandate to share, knowledge on topics and subject matters that we know about, even though we don't offer marketing services to our clients. But no matter where you are with marketing in your business, maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you want to refresh yourself. Hopefully you'll be able to take away something that you can apply to your business. So we're going to start off with a quick intro, then go straight into how to pick your social platforms, how to create KPIs, design tips, automation tools that you can use, strategies and best practices. And then we'll move on to how to create a campaign, email best practices, some common types of emails, do's and don'ts, and then some more automation tools. And then lastly, for the content creation strategy section, I'll cover how to use a content calendar, recommended times to schedule your posts, themes, and how to create captions that drive conversion. And if you stick around to the end, we'll have a quick Q&A session if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask. So, why market your business? So marketing is important because it not only helps you to sell your products and our services, but of course it brings what you do, who you are, and what you offer to your consumers. So the bottom line of any business, it doesn't matter what industry or what type of business you might have. The objective is, of course, to make money, and marketing is essential to that. So your consumers, or as I like to call them, your audience, they'll also need to form a relationship with your brand, and marketing can be used to do just that and help you really create a voice and a personality for your business. So, things are being done differently in the world of marketing every single day. Things are different from a year ago, 5 years ago, even 50 years ago. Traditional marketing, I think, really heavily relied on offline strategies. Businesses made flyers and brochures. They might have even paid lots of money to get a booth set up at a trade show, or maybe you took out a full page spread in a magazine. There are also radio and television ads, and we are still, doing some of that today. But although things change, they do stay a little bit the same. But marketing today, which is kind of the newer way of doing it, is more heavily focused on online strategies. So we're looking at internet channels, having a really engaging website or a blog, perhaps, just having a great social media presence. There's a lot of social listening going on. Brands are really focused on building a brand voice and image, and they're using it to educate and also to inspire their consumers. So we're seeing a lot of consumers also doing the actual marketing for us in the form of user-generated content around our products and services as well. So as for 2021, we're seeing lots of different trends. Consumers want more short form, easy to consume content like videos and blogs that they could easily digest and is also accessible really quickly, because we're living in a really impatient world, more live stream videos and webinars, just like this one. There's podcasts, more collaboration with people like influencers and even professional experts that can talk about specific subject matters with your audience. User-generated content is also becoming a huge contributor to how people make purchases and, of course, their buying behavior. And we're looking at more purpose-driven content. So companies are now sharing, their beliefs and their points of view on where they stand on certain public issues or trends. And lastly, brands are becoming a lot more conscious about being more inclusive and showcasing diversity. So we're going to start off with social media. But before we do that, I just wanted to run a really quick poll question to find out if your business has an active social media presence. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that poll. And you guys can let me know in the chat, if you see it. And of course, you can go ahead and answer because I'm already seeing people answering, which is great. So I'm just gonna let it run for a few more seconds, giving everyone a chance to get their input in. Still coming in, still getting some answers. So I think that's enough time. So I'm now going to end the poll, but I'm seeing a very interesting split between a lot of our answers. So wow, it does look like most of us are, we have an active presence and we're posting weekly, but a lot of us are also wanting to be more consistent, which is great. And that's the whole reason why we're here today. And some of you are posting occasionally, but some of you are doing it rarely as well when you remember to. Okay, so thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and close that off so we can continue. So every business can benefit from having a social media presence, okay? It supports your website, it integrates with your SEO, and of course your advertising. It expands your reach and the amount of people that you can connect to. It really helps you to build a community around your company. It's a part of your brand story and it impacts how you're perceived. But for it to be effective, you'll need to choose the right platforms for your business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some insights on a few of the more popular social platforms, and hopefully that will help you to decide which one or maybe which ones could be best suited for your business. So the first platform we're talking about is Facebook. So it's familiar, it's reliable. I'm sure most of you might already be on Facebook. It's kind of where we go to keep up with our family and our friends, and maybe even stalk some people that we used to know. But we check Facebook every day sometimes without even thinking about it, right? But here's why you might want to consider having a Facebook account for your business. So they have over 2 billion monthly users, and of course, Canadians are the most active users worldwide. Their ads are affordable for small businesses, and you can target specific things, like education, a person's income, their age, where they're located, their gender, their job title, behaviors, and it feels like it's almost limitless for what you could use Facebook ads to target. You can host events and even charge admission, which could create a brand new revenue stream, especially if your business has been mostly operating remotely since COVID. You could set up a digital storefront and you could display all of your products on both Facebook and Instagram. And their reviews are now showing up on Google results when people are searching for your business. So that's also really great. They do have a wide range of users. So people anywhere from 18 and 54, even though I know some people younger than that are on there and even older. But if that's important for your business to have a wide access to a large age range, then this could be a good platform for your business to target its potential consumers. So the next one is Instagram. So it's a fantastic place. I love Instagram personally. It's one of my favorites. It's a great place to humanize your brand or showcase your values and really uplift your brand with cool images and videos. Facebook recently did a survey because they own Instagram, and they said that people perceive companies that use Instagram to be popular, creative, and even committed to building a community. So that's really important for them. They're also using it to discover and research and make buying decisions about products and services. So if that's something that you want to keep in mind, because people are thinking about actually purchasing things when they're on Instagram. So they're over 1 billion users, and people are spending at least almost a half hour a day just scrolling through their feeds. Canada is one of the fastest growing audiences worldwide, and 200 million users are visiting at least one, and this is just at least one business profile per day, according to Hootsuite. So although it's mostly popular amongst, 18 to 30-year-olds, 71% of B2B businesses, they already have an Instagram account. So if your competitors are there, then you might want to think about also creating a presence there as well. Like Facebook, the storefront functionality will help users to shop directly from Instagram. You can also host lives. They have IGTV recordings, and you could save those to your page. And that's great for engaging your audience on things like maybe new products you might have just launched, or maybe topics of conversations that you want to have. Their story highlights are also really great. And that can help you strengthen your visual branding on Instagram. Of course, you can have highlight covers, and you can get super creative with those, and that can support your general aesthetic of your products. And you can have things like your reviews or how-to videos right at the front of your page, making it super accessible. The next one we're going to move on to is LinkedIn. So it's the #1 social platform right now for professionals. I don't think there's any other platform that really gives it that much competition right now, but it's definitely not weighed down with cat videos and gossip. The content that's shared on LinkedIn is really intended to raise your company's profile, connecting with other businesses, really nurture recruitment and things like that. It's the 3rd most used method to reach, of course, your job candidates aside from over the phone or email. So that makes it super convenient. There are 690 million members. So 3 million companies already have a company page there. So think about it. If your competitors, again, are there, you'd want to think about having a LinkedIn page as well. They're the 2nd most popular platform for B2B, and their ads typically yield high quality leads. So they offer very niche targeting options, making them really ideal for B2B. They also have a built-in publishing platform, and it's called Pulse. So if you've never heard of Pulse before, your business can use this to post articles, and that can drive traffic back to your company website. If that's something that you want to gain traction from for your business, then you should definitely be using Pulse. So next up, we have Twitter. So it's great for, catching up on news. You can get a lot of information quickly from, I think, world leaders, the media, celebrities, and other businesses, of course. They have about 330 million active monthly users, and over 8 million of them are right here in Canada. Most of the users on LinkedIn are somewhere between 24 and 34 years old. Again, if that's an age range your business targets, keep that in mind. An advantage of using Twitter for your business is, of course, it's a really cost-effective platform and a way to engage with your customers, because it's not necessarily weighed down with things like products and your services. It actually gives you a chance to just interact with your customers and have a conversation with them. So we have YouTube. So again, one of my personal favorites. I love going to YouTube to learn new things. It's a great place to add depth to your business content. You can create videos and playlists, and you could improve your SEO, because think about it. When you're typing in a search query into Google, the video results, they usually appear above the page and other post URLs that you see. So just by creating videos around maybe things like your target keywords, you could appear above your competitors. So think about that. If you want to start creating how-to videos, or maybe things like topic awareness content or podcasts or even webinar recordings, that's a great place to put those things. It's the world's second most popular search engine, and that's obviously after Google. And 60% of users said that they would make a purchase based on advice from a YouTube creator or influencer. And this is over an actress or a TV personality. So this is important to think about. If you're deciding that you maybe want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you're thinking about collaborating with other influencers and maybe some YouTube creators in the future. So now we have TikTok. It's used to create a variety of short form videos. You know, they have videos that are anywhere from 15 seconds to a minute, really popular for all the dancing and comedy and even education, of course. I think it would be great for companies that maybe want to reach a much younger audience, or maybe they want to be seen as trendy or innovative for keeping up. Small business owners, I think, with a youthful brand can perform well here. They have over 800 million monthly users, and it was the third most popular non-gaming app download of 2019. And that's right behind WhatsApp and Messenger. So as expected, there's 41% of TikTok users being age 16 to 24 years old. So again, if your target audience is youthful, you should consider joining this platform. Users are spending an average of almost an hour a day just on TikTok. And 15% of video marketers have already planned to add TikTok to their content strategy in 2020. So again, if your competitors are already there, you'd want to think about maybe being there too. And I just wanted to showcase the perfect example of how TikTok can actually help a small business. So this is a local GTA candle company called Blush Candles, and they blew up after they posted a video fulfilling their very first order. I think it really helped to make their brand more personable. And I think once people connected with that, they started seeing success right away. So there's Pinterest. So it's a social network where people can find lots of inspirational things. You know, if you have hobbies and interests, you find yourself making a lot of different pins. Their pins can help people find more information on products they're looking to buy, and you can also link it back to your website, which is actually really great for driving traffic and sales directly to your actual website. Pinterest has 360 million active monthly users. And interestingly enough, 71% of them are female. So think about it. If your products or your services are targeted to females, you know, you might want to think about joining this platform. Shopping's definitely a top priority for 48% of all users. So that's always on their mind when they're scrolling through. Maybe if you own a salon, you know, you could upload pictures to your Pinterest of styles that you've created there. Or you could even maybe have each stylist create their own board, and you can share things like hair care tips or hairstyle ideas or even tutorials. So great place for that. So I'm just going to do another quick poll question just to see, you know, who's actually tracking any social media KPIs or metrics. So let's do that now. I'm going to go ahead and say launch. So please let me know if you're able to see it. And of course, put in your answers, no judgments as per usual. You know, some of us track it quite a lot, maybe not enough or not at all. It's just to get a sense of if you're doing anything at all, period. So I'm just going to give you guys a few more seconds here. It looks like some of us are still putting in our answers. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and now share our results. So this one is a little bit surprising. Most of you are not tracking any of your social media KPIs, but I'm sure in the future you'll probably start to do that. But some of you are definitely doing it, and Some of you are doing it, but maybe not enough. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and close that off, and we'll just jump right into creating KPIs. So it's impossible to know for sure, whether you're making the right decisions unless you measure your performance. So understanding your core KPIs will help you to adapt your campaigns and maybe better suit your goals and your customers. So I just wanted to have a few examples of objectives that your business might have. For example, if you want to grow your brand, you'd want to look at tracking awareness. And a great metric to track this would be looking at your audience growth and things like your shares each week. If another goal is to turn customers into advocates, you'd be looking at tracking engagement. So you'll need to watch things like your comments and your likes and your app mentions. If you want to drive leads and grow sales, you're looking at tracking conversion. So you'd need to look at things like how many website clicks you're getting, or maybe how many email signups you're getting. And lastly, if you want to improve customer retention, you'd want to track how active your customers are and how they really feel about your brand. So you want to look at maybe things like your testimonials or social sentiment, which is looking at things like your frequency of mentions, reactions, and going as deep as to look at the tone of the comments that you're getting and things like that. So next up is competitors. So again, social media is a very competitive space, and there's a lot to learn from your competition. So what are they doing? Maybe what are they doing well, not so well, everything in between. So you can create a really successful social strategy. So in order to stay ahead, you have to do a competitive analysis, because what this will do is it will help you identify just who your competitors are. If you don't already know, what are they posting about? What sort of strategies are they using? Maybe what hashtags are they using, etc. There's lots of tools out there that your business can use, but I'm just gonna highlight what we're using, and that's SEMrush. So it can go pretty deep into analyzing your social media competitors. It can also give you insights on things like industry trends and even suggestions on things that you could post about. It tells you what your competitors are posting about and what's gaining them traction. But just so you know, you can always engage a digital marketer to do this for your business, since they will have the tools and also the expertise to provide you with more in-depth analysis and information on this if this is something that's way outside your scope. The next thing we're going to talk about is design tips. So when it comes to social media, you want to look your best and set yourself apart from your competition, but you also want to establish yourself as unique and different. So how you design your posts can really impact your overall look and feel of your business. So some people will hire a graphic designer to help them manage social media and their infographics, or maybe even their website pages. But if you're going to be managing this yourself, you'd want to optimize your images for the different social networks, since the sizing does vary on each of them. You want to include your logo in your profile image and make sure that it complements the cover photo if it's a platform like LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. You also want to use just a consistent style of images and colors and fonts. And you can create a variety of things like tips that you can share. Of course, infographics, maybe milestones that you're celebrating in your company, or events that you have going on, even quotes and things like that. But creating templates really helps with branding consistency. Also make your images easy to share and share worthy, because if it looks boring, or maybe it's just poorly designed, or you use too many fonts or too many colors, no one would want to save that or forward it to anyone. So really make it look good. And lastly, just ensure that all of your posts, or at least most of them if you can, that they actually link back to your website so you could drive traffic there. So I'm just going to show everyone some examples of some of our templates that we use right here at PACE. We share a variety of different things going on, whether that's our upcoming educational webinars, which we host every month, or maybe cyber tips where we talk about the importance of cyber training for your employees. We do a lot of explainer posts like what is the dark web. We also started sharing quotes recently, and here's a perfect example. This one's from the head of our client success team. Which really allows us to personalize our company and hopefully help others understand why this role and this department is so important for us, because nurturing our client relationships is something that we're big on, you know? So if your company can think of maybe some similar areas or topics like this, then you can easily do this too. So we're going to talk about some automation tools. These can make your life so much easier. You end up being a lot more efficient and you save a lot of time each week to focus on other marketing things. You know, there's a wide range of products out there, but again, I'm just going to highlight a handful that you could consider using. Some even have a free version to manage your social media like HubSpot and Hootsuite. But of course, you could upgrade to their paid versions and get the full access of everything they offer. There are also a lot of design tools like Canva and Snappa. Canva is personally one of my favorites because it's really easy to use. And there's lots of templates that is pre-made for you. And I think it's a lot of marketers' best friend. They also come with free and paid versions, but of course you can do your full research and choose one that's going to suit all of your specific marketing needs. So this is just an example I thought I'd highlight since we use HubSpot to track some of our KPIs. So we're tracking lots of different things, but this is just a dashboard showing our audience growth, which we keep an eye on every week, as well as just how many times per week we're posting on every single platform. Another really cool feature is that you could post directly to personal accounts, so not just your business page. We actually use it to post to our president and our CEO's pages, which tend to get even more traction than our main business page. And the really cool thing is that it allows you to stay within the app and respond to comments. So I don't even have to log into LinkedIn. I can track everything right here in HubSpot. And this is just an example of a comment coming in under our CEO's post. And you could see that we could reply directly from within HubSpot without having to leave. So that's really awesome. So lastly, there are just some overall strategies and best practices you want to keep top of mind when managing your business social media accounts, okay? So you want to learn everything there is to know about your audience. I can't stress that enough. Have a plan and set goals and track them. Keep an eye on your competitors. You want to know who they are and what they're up to on social media at all times. You also want to monitor industry trends since things are just constantly changing. Every platform is different, so of course, don't copy and paste the exact same thing across all platforms. And you want to use your data to drive better decisions in the future. So of course, that will help you to improve your performance and just make things a little bit better. So we're finally on to email marketing. And today I'm just gonna go over some of the common types of email marketing. So there are more types other than the 6 here that we're talking about today, but these are, really frequently used by lots of different types of B2B and also B2C companies. Newsletters, those are a well-done newsletter can drive lots of traffic to your website. It can help to grow your social media community, increase your sales, whether you're sending a newsletter every single week or maybe on a monthly basis, or just once a quarter, you should use them to provide maybe a roundup of your most recent articles. It's a great place to highlight any new promotions or maybe sales or coupons or offers, announcements, or even events that you might be having. Then there's lead nurturing or drip campaigns, which are incredibly useful when it comes to staying top of mind with your audience. You know, they help you effectively follow up and also re-engage prospects that might have gotten distracted somewhere along the marketing funnel. They also help to ensure that the content you put a lot of work into, because us marketers, we put a lot of work into our blogs and our webinars and our infographics and our guides and all that stuff, that it actually ends up in front of the target audience it's intended for. Then we have transactional emails. So this might work with, you know, an e-commerce business. So those are things like just digital receipts or maybe shipping confirmation updates, or maybe even personalized post-sale product recommendations. So you could send them relevant information to encourage them to come back again and again and make future purchases. Next up, there's news updates. So think about the next time, you know, you won a big award, or maybe your CEO might be speaking at a really popular conference. You want to let your audience know about it, of course. And for the best outcome with these, you want to send them only when something really big happens. Otherwise, everything else could probably be mentioned in a newsletter. And number 5, milestones. So if you're using a CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool, like HubSpot or MailChimp, where you can actually monitor key insights about your customers. So things like their birthday or maybe an anniversary, you could use that data and then celebrate those milestones. So you can create campaigns that recognize these important occasions, and that definitely helps to drive conversions. And also it makes your customers feel like someone cares about them and really appreciates them by taking the time to actually remember one of their milestones. And then lastly, there's promotions and offers, which is super popular. These include offers, maybe huge holidays. You know, what's coming to mind is things like Black Friday or Christmas, discounts and coupons, basically anything that's going down that you want people to be a part of. With these emails, you really want to focus on your main call to action. So whether it's to buy now or sign up or like your page. So when you're creating campaigns, you need to decide what your end goals are. Do you want your customers to maybe book a meeting with you or buy a product, or maybe sign up for an event like a webinar, or maybe download the ebook that you just made? Either way, you have to create a goal for each of them and outline what's going to be included. You want to create an engaging subject line that would make people want to open the email. You could use email builders like MailChimp and HubSpot, or even Constant Contact. And those come with preset email templates that are really customizable and easy to use. You could use personalization elements, you know, using things like their first name, their company name, maybe even their industry or business name. That could help to make things super personal. And include clear calls to action where appropriate. Testing is also important. You want to make sure it looks good across all devices, especially on phones and mobile devices, because as of now, 46% of all email opens, according to a study done by HubSpot, are on mobile devices. So make sure it looks good on phones as well. And lastly, you want to acknowledge rules or laws and regulations around email campaigns. So you have to be aware of CANSPAM and CASL, which I will just quickly go through. I'm not a subject matter expert on this, but I'm just going to give you a quick review of the basics. of CANSPAM, which basically stands for Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography in Marketing. So it's a law. It establishes the rules for commercial email and commercial messages. So it gives recipients the right to have a business stop emailing them. It outlines the penalties incurred for those who violate the law. And these are just 8 guidelines to follow to make sure that you're CANSPAM compliant. So you don't want to use false or misleading header information. You don't want to use deceptive subject lines. You have to identify the message as an ad very clearly and conspicuously. You should tell recipients where you're physically located, so you'll need to include your business address. You want to tell recipients how to opt out if they don't want to continue getting any emails from you in the future. And you must honor those requests within 10 business days. And lastly, you have to monitor what others are doing on your behalf. And what I mean by that is that the law makes it clear that even if you hire, let's say, another company to do your email marketing, you can't contract away your legal responsibility. Both your company and the email provider may be held responsible if you're in breach of this law. And then the next one is CASL, which is Canada's anti-spam legislation. So it's a federal law. It was introduced back in 2014, and it was meant to protect the inboxes of Canadians by, of course, setting strict rules around email. So it's definitely been labeled as one of the tougher laws of its kind because it does go a step beyond CANSPAM. So it includes all forms of electronic communication and cyber threats like phishing and malware. Even though it is a Canadian law, it doesn't only apply to Canadian brands, but to all senders that send emails to recipients based here in Canada. So there are 3 general requirements for sending an email under CASL. So you have to obtain consent, you need to provide identification information, and of course you'll need to provide an unsubscribe mechanism. And there's 2 types of consent under CASL. There's express, which means that the person just clearly agreed, maybe orally or in writing, to receive emails from you. It doesn't expire. It's valid basically until a recipient withdraws his or her consent. And then there's implied consent. So even if an individual hasn't given express consent, there are certain activities that could imply consent and allow marketers to still send emails to that individual. So for example, if someone purchased a product from you, or maybe they inquired and sent an email about your services, this is considered implied consent under CASL, and the brand is allowed to send promotional emails to that person. The good thing about email management tools like HubSpot or MailChimp is that they do have built-in features that adhere to these laws, and they're really easy to use. I also found a really great article if anybody's interested in learning in more detail about CANSPAM or CASL, which I'll be sharing in our follow-up afterwards. So we're finally at email best practices, and you want to be mindful of these so you don't get into trouble, and also so that you can be successful and do things the right way and efficiently. So for your do's, you want to be personable, make your subject line inviting as we talked about, be consistent with your branding as much as possible, use a dedicated sender and email ID if you can for consistency. It's a good idea to segment, group, and tag your database for more effective targeting. For example, you could create things like age groups and segments like location, or maybe even psychographic or behavioral factors. And of course, acknowledge rules and laws around email like CASL and CANSPAM. And then for the don'ts, obviously, you don't want to hide your unsubscribe link or not include one at all. you don't want to send too many emails too frequently because no one likes to be pestered. Don't overuse graphics and pictures because this can actually cause your emails to start hitting people's spam folders. Don't overcapitalize everything. Keep it clear and clean. Don't use too many different fonts because that could look cluttered or messy. And of course, don't forget to track your metrics to see how you're performing. I just also wanted to touch quickly on overall email performance by industry. And MailChimp has a full report on this, so you could go and look up your specific industry and find out exactly where you should fall. But as you can see here, the arts and artists industry has a higher average open rate when compared to another industry like the beauty and personal care industry. So you want to be mindful of, again, how you should be performing and where you should fall in your email campaign results. And of course, the average totals is over here on the right. And that should give you a basic idea of how you should perform. So as our final poll question, are you using any automation tools for email marketing? So I'm going to go ahead and launch the last poll. You'll let me know, of course, if you can see it. And of course, if you can, please answer. I did include, some of the main ones, and there are a lot more other email automation tools out there, obviously, but just wanted to get a sense of which ones you're using and if you're using them at all, of course. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a few more seconds. It seems like we have most of our answers in, so I'm just going to end the poll right now and share our results. So interestingly enough, most people are using another one that I didn't even mention here. So I'm interested to hear about, maybe some of the other platforms that you're using, but kind of as expected, lots of us are using MailChimp. Lots of us are using HubSpot. Some of us are even using Constant Contact and Drip. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and close that off, and we'll continue. So yeah. As I've said before, automation tools can help you to save time and be more efficient and stay on top of tracking your metrics. So there's a lot of tools out there. Again, I'm just highlighting a few that you can try. HubSpot does offer a free email creation, sending, and analytics as part of the free version. MailChimp also has a free plan, and it's ideal for beginners who maybe want to grow their audience. I think you can get up to 2,000 contacts and 10,000 send per month. With Constant Contact, they have a free 60-day trial. With Zoho, they also have a free version that can let you engage with up to 2,000 subscribers and send as many as 12,000 emails. And with Drip, I think there's also a 14-day trial, and you don't need a credit card or anything. You can just sign up and start using their features and testing it out and figuring out which one might be right for you. So we're finally at the last section of our webinar where we're going to talk about content creation strategy. So here's why you need to have one if you don't have one or you're thinking about having one. It helps you to maintain a social calendar because it helps you to plan and batch your work. You avoid multitasking and kind of shuffling things around. So basically, it's the best way to make sure that you're never in a position where you're desperately looking for something to post on your social media. It can help you to populate your calendar with posts ahead of time. So whether it's a slower week at work or maybe it's a really busy week where you don't have a lot of time, maybe it's your biggest promotion of the year, either way, you're going to have a place that's going to have something ready to be rolled out at any time. And third, for copy editing, If your posts require lots of fact checking, or maybe you need to vet it amongst other people in the organization, like your C-suite, or maybe even your legal team, then this is helpful if you're going to be working days or weeks in advance, especially if things need to be edited, or you need a lot of input, or it needs to be proofed by someone else. So above here is an example of a monthly planning calendar template from HubSpot. So this is fully customizable. I'll share this in the follow-up email along with the recording. So in the top right corner, you'll see the key with the types of content or campaigns you might want to have. You can change this depending on the types of content you promote. You'll also see that you can write in the date next to or above each day of the week, and in the rows below you can include specific details about your scheduled content or campaigns. And then next up we have a content repository. So what is a content repository anyway? So basically this is a hub, and you can keep all the content you'd like to promote or resurface on social media, because the more content you create, sometimes it's harder for you to keep track of everything. So this is one tab where you can accumulate a lot of content, or maybe some of your website pages or offers that you eventually want to resurface every now and then. And it's a great way to make sure that you're never at a loss for what to post, and it keeps it all really organized and in one hub. So this is an example of the social platform updates tab, and that allows you to create posts for each specific platform. So this example is Twitter, because we're accounting for the limit of 257 characters, because that's the amount you're allowed on Twitter. So you'd want to use this tab primarily to plan out all of your content week by week. So in the first 3 columns, there's day, date, and time. And in the message, you'd write the copy of the actual post. And in the link column, if you're going to include any links, you'd keep that there. And in the column labeled campaign, this is where you'll track maybe a specific campaign if it's centered around one. And if you have an image, you can hyperlink this here, the window pop-up, and you can upload that. And this strategy really helps you to remove, again, the guesswork in posting, and helps you to save time and gives you a place to bank and store posts that you can use, all while keeping you organized on a weekly or a monthly and even on a quarterly basis. So next up, we're going to move on to scheduling. The various social networks have different peak times when their users are most active. So if you want to engage with as much of your audience as possible, you'll need to post at these peak times. So there are many different studies that indicate different days and times. So we're just going to go with the recommendation of Sprout Social based on 2020 data. And this is a general recommendation. This exact same report does give insight on all industries, and I'll provide a link for that in the follow-up email so you can look up your industry. But for Facebook, the best general time to post is Wednesday at noon and between 2 and 3 p.m. You'll get consistent engagement on Tuesday through Thursday from 9 to 4 p.m. and Sunday is the worst day to post anything. Also, the lowest engagement is every day before 8 a.m. or after 6 p.m. Next up, there's Twitter. The best time to post is Wednesday to Friday at 10 a.m. and you're going to get the most consistent engagement on Monday through Friday at 9 to 5. Their worst day is Saturday, and the lowest engagement is every day before 5 a.m. and after 11 p.m. So next up is LinkedIn. Best time to post is Wednesday from 9 to 11 and 1 p.m. and Thursdays at 10 a.m. And between 2 to 3 p.m. and Friday at 10 a.m. So you're going to get the most consistent engagement on Tuesdays through Fridays, anywhere between 9 and 3 p.m. And the worst day to post is Sunday And the lowest engagement is every day before 5 a.m. and anytime after 9 p.m. And lastly, we have Instagram. So for Instagram, the best time to post is Wednesday at 12 p.m., so that's noon, and Friday at 11 a.m. to noon. So they're gonna get the most consistent engagement on Monday through Friday, typically from 10 to 5. And the worst day to post is Saturday, and the lowest engagements every day before 7 a.m. and after 10 p.m. So there are lots of scheduling tools that you can use that can give you even further insights on specific accounts and not just give you general best times at work. I like using our SEMrush tool to tell us when the most people in our audience is online on any specific day. And it will tell me the best hour to post based on data that it's collected about our audience being online. So they also have a great content idea tool. You can include a list of websites you like to follow, and it'll give you ideas about what to post and what else is trending. So for themes, if you're planning your schedule in advance, you can center each month on a theme, and these can relate to your own content or maybe even your website's keyword strategy, or your themes could just simply be on concepts that your audience enjoys. But listening to your audience will lead you in the right direction of what you should post about. You can easily find awareness days or even months online that align with your business and your culture. For example, January is all about New Year's resolutions. February, as we know, is all about Valentine's. And for us, October in our industry is all about cybersecurity awareness. So we share lots of info on cyber awareness. We create campaigns specifically around that on both email and social media when that time comes around. So this is the marketing funnel, and I'm bringing this up here because we're going to talk about our last topic, which is creating captions that drive conversion. But first we need to recognize each stage so you know how to create copy that factors into all of the above. So the top funnel is all about awareness, and this is where you could talk about your specific problem that your business solves. And you could do this through blog posts or social posts, videos, podcasts where you discuss those problems. We try and create new content each month to create awareness about, who we are, what we do, what problems we solve. And so we're always sharing things like cybersecurity awareness, phishing, things that are important to our users, like cyber training, so that users avoid being affected by cyber threats. So that's an example. The middle funnel is, of course, all about engagement or consideration. This is how you can be the guide that teaches your audience how to choose a solution to their problems. So your business can create things like white papers or video playlists, online events, of course, webinars, even your newsletters. And that specifically guides them to find a solution to their problem. So for us, our newsletter would feature things like our webinars on topics that educate, again, on things like phishing, or maybe choosing the right cloud solution for your business, or just understanding security better and why you need it for your business. And lastly, the bottom funnel is about conversion. So this is the decision stage where your business can explain why your specific problems or why your specific service offers them the best solution out there to their problem. Your business can do this with, maybe you have demos that you want to have to show, or maybe a scheduled meeting or a comparison sheet that might, compare similar services or products. Either way, you could do things like that, even a return on investment calculator, and that could show them the value that they'd be getting out of it. So keep that in mind in the funnel, because that's going to factor into creating captions that drive conversion. So for all your social media efforts, your end goal should be to drive conversion. So you'll want to be direct so that your audience gets one step closer to becoming a consumer. You could do this on social media by asking your audience to answer a question, or go to your website to find out more information, or make a purchase now. Either way, whatever you're asking them to do should be clear and never confusing. Your CTAs could ask followers to click the link in your bio, or read your new blog post, maybe leave a comment, or check out your new items that you just launched. You are their guide, so remember that you need to lead them and do exactly what you want them to do. So these are just a few examples of call to actions that drive conversion. You have tag a friend who would love this, let us know your thoughts below, read the full story, link in bio, tell us your favorites, head over to our website to take advantage of our sale now. Overall, you want to make the most of your first sentence. Always add value. Write your post like a human. So this is an opportunity to personify your business and not sound robotic. And use storytelling. It really helps to make you sound like you're more relatable. You know, you can use emojis where appropriate and have fun with them. And lastly, include a clear call to action that really leads them to a conversion. So just to summarize everything, because it's now after 1 and we're going to have our Q&A very shortly. So with social media marketing, you want to choose your platforms wisely. Leverage your automation tools for efficiency. Track your KPIs if you're not doing so already. And it's important that you're not operating in the dark and that you're adhering to strategies and best practices. So for email marketing, you want to choose the right campaigns that suit your business and create goals, follow the best practices that I talked about, leverage tools to your advantage that will hopefully save you time and be more efficient. And then lastly, with content creation, remember that planning does save you time and keeps you organized. You want to post when it's the best time to do it, and remember to choose a focus or themes that are in line with your business and your culture. And of course, you want to post captions to include clear call to actions that have a purpose and will lead to conversion. So we are officially at the end. So we're now going to open the floor to maybe any questions that you have for the next few minutes. I'm just going to look at the chat to see if there's any questions. So there aren't any questions in the chat, so I'm just going to go ahead and check our Q&A. So we have a question here that says, what are some examples of content that I can share in my company newsletter? So thank you for your question. That's a really great question. So there's lots of different things that you can share in a newsletter. You have blogs from your website if you're writing those, to your YouTube videos if you have a YouTube channel. Maybe you have upcoming events that you might be hosting, or even webinars. Maybe you have company updates like awards, or maybe you're supporting a fundraiser, or new products and services that you just launched. So any kind of change or maybe updates that you want people to know about, those are always some great things that you could have in a newsletter. Hopefully that answered your question. I have another question here that says, what types of social posts should I make for my law firm? That's a really great question. I mean, law firms may not be the hottest type of business out there, but there's still so much that you could share as a firm. You know, you can answer maybe common questions that your clients come to you with. So maybe think about even issues or problems that they have, and you can address those on social media. You could use it to establish thought leadership. So you could definitely be an expert on certain legal topics. You know, you could share maybe facts and statistics that are quite common in the law industry, or maybe just share snippets of your blogs from your website. If you have a YouTube, you could make videos and of course playlists, maybe on different legal matters. That could easily help you with your top funnel stuff and getting awareness about who you are and what sort of issues or what sort of clients that you help. And like any other business, you know, you could highlight reviews, even milestones and things like that. So yeah, hopefully that answered that question. I have another question here that says, can you track social media KPIs without an automation tool? So yes, you can still track any KPI manually in, you know, a tool like Excel. You could build out sheets that would, you'd have to input the data yourself, and that does take up a lot more time and energy when compared to, you know, an automation tool. But if you're tracking this every week, it's going to take up your time. If it's not in your budget, and you just need to schedule yourself enough time to do it every week and make sure that you're recording your KPIs accurately. So hopefully that helps. I'm just gonna check to see if there's anything else going on in our chat. So there is a question in our chat. It says, our organization is not for profit, and the majority of our posts are flyers related to the services being offered. How do we make that engaging? That's a really great question. So you're doing a lot of flyers related to your services. I would say if you have a social media account, maybe talk more about how those services are helping people. Because if it's a nonprofit, maybe you're helping people, maybe it's a charity. So you could definitely highlight some of the positive things and how you're helping people. You could talk about your services. Again, I would leverage things like Instagram lives or Facebook lives, where maybe someone in your company could be a subject matter expert that can talk about, you know, some of those services that you do. Maybe mention, you know, who are your audience and who you help and things like that. If you're doing email, I could easily see you sending out updates or events, because I'm sure you might have events happening and going on every now and then. So that's also great. But yeah, there's lots of different ways to make that more engaging. I do follow quite a lot of not-for-profit organizations. So I've definitely seen, again, a lot of lives, a lot of conversations with their audience and getting people's opinion on certain things as well. And that's been super engaging for engaging their audience and just getting people to know more about what you do. So yeah, you're welcome. So that looks like all the questions that we have. Oh, wait, there is one more question, and it says, how can manufacturing companies utilize social media? So again, any type of industry can utilize social media, whether you want to gain awareness or talk about your products or maybe what you manufacture and exactly what you do. Again, you can talk about your events, you could share things within your organization. Like I think I mentioned quotes, which is something we do in-house, where, you know, people in different departments are giving their expert opinion on certain things. So there's lots that manufacturing companies can do. So that should give you an idea as to what to do.
If I could jump in
Yeah,
on this one as well, Mel, and great job on the webinar, by the way.
Thank you.
As well, one thing that a lot of people need to realize about social media is that it is the first place that people go to kind of check up on you now. People are so in tune with social media. Once they come across your company, they may look at your website, but the second thing that they may do is go and check out your Facebook or look
Mhm.
for reviews or things like
Reviews, yeah.
that people might be giving you, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or whatnot. So all those things you need to keep in mind, but can definitely help boost your
Exactly.
business and your reputation.
And remember, we talked about competitor analysis. So it's always a good idea to snoop around in your industry and see, you know, who's posting what, and that can also give you ideas as well. So yeah, I think let's just check one more time and see if there are any more questions in our chat and in our Q&A. So just one more comment saying this was great. Thanks for hosting. Really appreciate your time and knowledge. So thank you. And I think that is all. I don't think we have any more questions, but if you did want to talk about IT with us, you can book a meeting with Mike, and his email is mike@pacetechnical.com. Of course, we'd love if you followed us on our social media. So we're at Pace Technical on Facebook, and at Pace Technical Serve on Twitter, and at Pace Technical on Instagram. And if you're looking for all the new cybersecurity news coming out, we always update our pacetechnical.com website where you can check that out. If you're a client of ours, we have a wonderful business referral program. So any business we meet with, we donate $200 to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health as part of our way of giving back. So yeah, if you know of a business that it doesn't matter what industry, if they have 20 to 200 users, and that's computer users, we'd love to sit down with them and see how we could help. I'm just going to check our chat here. So I'm not getting any questions, but again, I'm getting some really great feedback. Thank you guys. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for your time. And of course, stay safe and be on the next one. We do these monthly, you know, if we can think of topics that are helpful. So be on the lookout for our next webinar, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.